So we all know that the Viltrumites are the ones who hold the power in the invincible universe. But of course, amongst these powerful Viltrumites, there are those more powerful than others. And those are the Viltrumites we're going to be talking about today as I discuss the top 10 most powerful Viltrumites so far. Like, share, and subscribe as well as comment down below on any thoughts you'll have about this video. Now, before we get right into the video, let me just state that I'm only going to be using the Viltrumites we have seen so far, as in by the end of Season 3 of the Invincible series. Now let's get right into it by starting with number 10, Tula. One of the oldest Viltrumites, arguably as old if not older than Conquest himself, which on its own is quite impressive, given that would imply that she has defeated a variety of different other powerful Viltrumites and powerful characters, as she has probably conquered hundreds of different worlds. And to top that off, she was even able to overwhelm Invincible for a good portion of her fight against him, being helped quite drastically by her hair and the blade attached to it. She's easily one of the most skilled Viltrumites, which on its own makes her insanely powerful. Next up, I've got Lucan. Now, I think Lucan's easily one of the most powerful Viltrumites for the simple fact that he not only destroyed Season 2 Invincible, and I understand that Season 2 Invincible was holding back, but still, being absolutely annihilated like that implies a massive gap in power, and Season 2 Invincible should to some extent still be able to hold his own against certain other Viltrumites, and Lucan absolutely annihilated him. And then on top of that, he was momentarily able to hold his own against even Nolan, which on its own is quite impressive given that Nolan is one of the most powerful characters throughout the entirety of the Invincible universe. I think Lucan might very well be one of the physically strongest Viltrumites. Next up, I've got Pythor. Now, the only reason I really put Pythor above Lucan is simply because he fought Nolan for a longer period of time. That's legit just it. He lasted longer in a fight against Nolan than Lucan did. And even if you compare the damage that Lucan did to Nolan and the damage that Pythor did to Nolan, I think you can get a bit of an understanding of why I believe him to be more powerful than Lucan. He lasted longer in a fight against Nolan and it did a bit more damage than Lucan. Next up, I've got Anissa. Now, Anissa, in my opinion, should definitely be more powerful than Lucan and Tula, given the simple fact that she absolutely annihilated a stronger version of Invincible than the version who was able to somewhat hold his own against Lucan and technically defeat Tula. And given that alone, she's easily more powerful than these two characters. Now, against Pythor, it's a bit of a different factor given that we don't know enough about her yet, but the simple fact that she has high status in the Viltrumite Empire and the fact that she was implied to possibly be able to even be a massive challenge than Nolan by being faster than him means to me that she should be more powerful than Pythor. Next up, I've got this Executioner. Now, I know we haven't seen a lot from this Executioner, or we never got to see a lot from this Executioner, but we did get to see a bit from him that, in my opinion, easily implies him to be one of the most powerful Viltrumites. I know many people might be angry about me putting him here, but if you actually consider what he was able to do, I think you should understand why I've put him here. Because he was actually able to not only momentarily hold his own against both Alan and Nolan, and I understand that Nolan was injured, but he's still one of the most powerful characters throughout the entirety of the Invincible verse, so to overwhelm him even in a weakened state is quite impressive. And I also understand that Alan was holding back, but Alan can't necessarily hold back his durability, and this Viltrumite Executioner was able to actually make Alan bleed, which is even more impressive when you consider the fact that Anissa was unable to hurt a weaker version of Alan, yet this Executioner is able to hurt a stronger version of him. And yeah, Anissa might be more durable or faster, but this Executioner is definitely stronger than she was. Next up, I've got the other Viltrumite Executioner. Now, even him, we haven't seen a lot of him, or we never got to see a lot from him, but the simple fact that he was able to hold his own against Battle Beast for an extended period of time implies that he is insanely powerful. Given that Battle Beast is easily one of the most powerful characters throughout the entirety of the Invincible universe, being stronger, faster, and more durable than most Viltrumites, and having the natural advantage of having claws that can pierce through the Viltrumite skin, yet this Executioner is able to hold his own against Battle Beast for such a long period of time. And yes, Battle Beast was blatantly more powerful than him, but the simple fact that he was able to hold his own against Battle Beast for that long implies that he is also quite powerful. Next up, I've got General Krieg or Craig or whatever you want to call him. Either way, he is a general, and that's kind of the main reason I put him this high on the list. He doesn't have a lot of feats, like he has almost no feats, to be completely honest with you, but the simple fact that he's a general implies that he has to be more powerful than most other Viltrumites, given that the Viltrumite hierarchy of power is primarily determined by one's actual power. And to top that off, we do know that he's insanely old, one of the oldest Viltrumites who's probably defeated a variety of other powerful Viltrumites and conquered hundreds of worlds as well. And again, simply being a general implies that he has to be more powerful and smarter than most other Viltrumites. Next up, I've got Mark Grayson himself. I've got Invincible. Well, Invincible was able to defeat Tula when he stopped holding back in Season 2, and in Season 2 he was somewhat able to hold his own against Lucan. Yes, Lucan was blatantly more powerful than him, but he could tank a couple of attacks from Lucan, and He's grown in terms of power so drastically to the point where Cecil and his team believes that he could actually defeat Anissa, and to top all of that off, he was able to hold his own against Conquest, one of the most powerful beings throughout the entirety of the Invincible universe, for an extended period of time, implying that he himself has grown tremendously in terms of power. Next up, I've got Omni-Man himself. We've got Nolan Grayson. Well, he defeated Lucan, Phytho, and Tula. I know he didn't necessarily properly beat Tula because she didn't necessarily expect his attack, but nevertheless, he did more or less one-shot her, which does imply that he's insanely powerful and easily more powerful than she was, and he did again defeat Phytho and Lucan in a short period of time, implying that he's easily more powerful than they were. And I mean, he was also able to hold his own against the Viltrumite Executioner for a decent bit of time, whilst he was drastically weakened, and his name carries a lot of weight. I mean, everyone knows him as the Great Nolan. He's conquered hundreds of different worlds. Even Conquest knows him and kind of respects him for his power, and that alone implies that he has to be insanely powerful. And speaking about Conquest, number one is obviously going to be Conquest. As of now, Conquest is the most powerful Viltrumite, given that he's not only feared by his own people, his own powerful Viltrumites fear him, he was also shown to be blatantly more powerful than Season 3 Invincible, who should be more powerful than characters like Tula, Lucan, and Anissa, and Conquest again toys around with him. It's not even that he just defeats him, he toys around with him, in showing that he's way more powerful than he was, which is, again, absolutely insane. And I mean, he's one of the oldest Viltrumites, conquered hundreds of different worlds, destroyed hundreds of powerful Viltrumites and powerful characters. He's easily one of the most powerful characters throughout the entirety of the Invincible universe, and as of now, he's the most powerful Viltrumite. Anyway, that's all I got for y'all for today. I'm sure many people are not going to be happy about the list or the certain places I've put certain people on the list, but based alone on what we've seen so far, as in by the end of Season 3 of the Invincible series, I believe this is the list, and these are the specific places or positions I believe these people should be at. And when the series progresses and we see more from certain other characters, get introduced to new other characters, the list will probably change, but for now, I believe that this is a fair enough list. Anyway, that's all I got for y'all for today. This is MC Info, and I'm out.